Banish all thought from thee and be God's void. Banish all thought from thee. This is a very powerful line. You see. Banish all thought, metrically also. Metrically also very beautiful line. Banish, it is Trocky, all thought, it is Pondi, from thee, a kind of an am, and be, again, empiric, God's void, Pondi, strong, strong. Be God's void. How many of us are ready? We don't want to give up ourselves, you see, to be void. Even if it is God's void, who cares? I want to be myself. Be God's void. Then shalt thou uncover the unknowable. Uncover the unknowable. In other words, the unknowable is at the moment covered by idea. The unknowable is covered by the idea. So, remove that thing and you would have then really uncovered the unknowable. And superconscious conscious growth on thy tops. Infinity's vision through thy gaze shall appear. Infinity's vision through thy gaze. So, through her gaze, it is the vision of infinity which will come through. Shall appear. Thou shalt look into the eyes of the unknown. So, the unknown has the eyes, and Savitri will be looking into the eyes of the unknown to that. Thou shalt look into the eyes of the unknown, find the hid truth in things seen, null and false. Behind things know, discover mysteries rare. Behind things known. So what you think these objects as if you know, but behind them there is a real mystery. It is that which will be uncovered. Thou shalt be one with God's bare reality. God's bare reality. Thou shalt be one with God's bare reality. Nothing else. God alone. No creation, nothing, nothing. Not even self, not soul, nothing. Not even Satchidananda perhaps. Nothing. Thou shalt be one with God's bare reality. He talks, the voice is talking here rather, bare reality. In the case of Ashwapati, it was intolerant reality. Intolerant reality. When he was approaching the unknowable, it was the intolerant reality. Here it is the bare reality. So, in a certain sense, Ashwapati also has gone through this kind of a nirvanic experience through the spiritual path. Savitri is going through that through the tantric path. And the miraculous world he has become, and the diviner miracle still to be. Divine miracle still to be. So the entire purpose is this one. Savitri, all that we are doing is for this purpose. Diviner miracle still to be. When nature, who is now unconscious God, translucent grows to the eternal light. Her seeing his sight, her seeing, nature seeing is the sight of his, of God. Her walk, nature's walk, is the walk of that God. His steps of power. So nature herself will become now godly in a sense. Her seeing his sight. That he stands for God. Her walk, his steps of power, and life is filled with spiritual joy, and matter the Spirit's willing bride. Well, the dichotomous nature of spirit and matter, it is that which will get resolved. What is matter? Never mind. What is mind? Doesn't matter. That is what the Cartesian logic is, you see. Cartesian logic is that, you see. So this is what he. So these are the echoes here in these lines. See, Shevendra is really bringing out all those echoes of spirit, of philosophy also, and matter is the spirit's willing bride. Today, matter is ruled by spirit under compulsion. Under compulsion, it is coaxing, it is forcing things on it. Yes, life must enter into matter and bring out forms of life. Yes, mind must enter into life and matter here and bring out other dimensions. So, matter is kind of forced to bring out those aspects. Therefore, she is not a willing bride at the moment, you see. But when this happens, when this miracle, divine miracle takes place, then the spirit itself recognizes its possibilities in the powers of the spirit. The spirit recognizes its potentials expressing themselves in matter. Both. That is the mutuality then between the spirit. The spirit opens out its possibilities and pours them into matter. Matter receives all those possibilities and expresses them. So that is the kind of willingness between spirit and matter. Matter, the spirit's willing by. See, what has happened is at the moment matter is coaxed to do this thing. Matter must express life. Matter must express mind, like that. As a result of that, the moment that coaxing is there, matter has to express life. When life has entered into matter, suddenly what happened then? A negative response came from below. Appeared death. When life enters into matter, in response to that appears death. Because matter is not willing. But when matter is willing to the spirit's power to enter in, then that will not happen. Death will not appear like that, you see. It is that willingness which is really expressed very powerfully, you see. It is because things are being forced on matter, the negative response from matter throws antagonistic forces. Death, falsehood, suffering, they start coming up from below. They will not happen when matter becomes willing. And this will happen only when the divine or miracle still to be born. Consent to be nothing and none. So now this is the imperative. Savitri is told, agree now to be nothing. Did Savitri refuse any time what the voice was telling to her? But the voice is not waiting for Savitri to respond positive or negative. She is forcing on Savitri. Accept what I am telling you. Consent to be nothing. That is required. None, nothing and none. Dissolve time's work. Cast off thy mind. Step back from form and name. All these formations which are there, form, name, nama and rupa. In Sanskrit, it means form is rupa, name is nama. All nomenclatures, all this figuration, personalities, you throw away, they are formations, basically. Mental formation. We draw from form, we draw from name. Don't have any quality, don't have any configuration, contour for that. Cast off thy mind, step back from form and name, annul thyself that only God may be. That is Savitri's Nirvana. That is Savitri's Nirvana. Annul thyself that only God may be. So Savitri is asked to enter into this Nirvana. Only when that is done, then the battle between the dread and the voice coming from above will be settled.